Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney and we are going to be doing another declutter. This declutter video is all about bronzers. I have some cream bronzers, I have some powder bronzers, I have some bronzer palettes. So if you're interested in seeing which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to go, then keep on watching. All right, just to start out, if you hear any jingling in the background, that is my dog, and he is just wandering around. That's his harness. And also, my nails look horrible, as they have in past videos. I'm waiting for this gel polish to come off, and it's horrible. I never want to do gel polish ever again, but we're just gonna keep on going and not talk about that. Also, as I say in almost every declutter video, please do not ask me for this makeup. Everything here that I declutter is accounted for, has a home that it's going to go to, so please do not ask me in the comments or in DMs or anything if you can have any of this makeup. So, cool, it's awkward, let's just not do it. Awesome. Okay, moving on. We're going to start off with some cream bronzers. All right, first up for the cream bronzers, we have one from Soul Body. So this is ColourPop's sister brand, and this is their light face and body bronzing balm, and you get an absolute ton of product in here. Like, I've barely made a dent and I've actually used it a lot. There's like a baby little divot in there. It blends out beautifully. It's very effortless to blend. It has a lot of pigment to it. The only downside is it's a little warm leaning for my skin tone, and this was the lightest one they had, so I wish they had a cooler toned option, but this one is beautiful. Works very, very well. I've heard that it can be a dupe for the Chanel whatever cream bronzer, but I haven't tried the Chanel, so I can't really speak to that, but I love it. If the Chanel one works similar to this, then that's great, but I really enjoy this product and I'm going to keep it. It has really good lasting power too. You use this and then set it with a powder bronzer on top, it's locked in. It ain't going anywhere. So I'm gonna keep it. So let's get this one out of the way. I know it's a keeper and I've talked about it so many times on my channel, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand in Fair Medium, I believe. Or yeah, Fair Medium. This is so effortless to blend. I love it. It has a slight sheen to it, but nothing crazy. It looks gorgeous and natural on the skin. So easy to blend out, so easy to apply. I love the little sponge applicator, even though it's really messy. That's the only downside, but I love that applicator so much. I love the formula of this. I haven't found anything that works exactly like this, and I've tried a bunch of different things. So this is absolutely staying. It's expensive. You don't get a lot of product, but the product formula is actually incredible. So I'm keeping. Next up, an affordable one that I am also keeping. I love cream bronzers, and most of them I think are staying, with maybe an exception of one or two, but this is the Nyx Wonder Stick. So it has a highlight and contour end. So this is the highlight end, and I actually use them both together, not as a highlight and a contour, but actually to lighten the contour end a little bit. So here is what the contour shade is. I am almost done with it. It looks crazy. I'm going to hit pan and use up the entire product. I just know it. And here's the contour, or the highlight end. Yeah, it falls out, just as a heads up. It will fall out. I use the highlight end a little less than I use the contour end, but that's only because I use a very small amount and lighten up the other end, and it blends out easier that way. These are so creamy and blendable and pigmented. It works really, really well. Perfect contour shade for me. I love it. It's not too warm toned, and it works beautifully and just like melts into the skin. It's really, really good. I am going to repurchase this once I use it up, so I'm going to keep it. Two that are kind of on the chopping block, but I'm not sure. I might keep one and declutter the other. These are from LA Girl. These are their Pro Conceal high definition concealers, but I got them to try as a kind of cream bronzer because I've seen people bronze and contour with these. So this lighter one is in medium beige and the deeper one is in toast. So I don't know how I feel about these. The applicator is not my favorite. It's like a little squeezy brush thing, but it barely really wants to come out. I just don't see how it's really thick and it's hard to control how much product is coming out of this. I don't know if it's because it's a concealer and not made for bronzing. It works okay, but this shade is just too warm. You know what? I might declutter both of them actually. This shade is just too warm for me for like a contour bronze. It just ends up looking weird on my skin, and it's because it's a concealer, it has a little bit more coverage than a bronzer would. So when it's blended out, it just doesn't look as natural on the skin. So I think I'm going to declutter. This one I have used a bit more than the other shade. It is more of a contour shade on me, but well, it's not wanting to come out. I'm squeezing really hard and barely anything is coming out. Yeah, so this is the shade on my skin, and it does blend out okay, but again, it's pretty warm toned, not very cool toned. So if I'm going to use it as a contour, it's just not the right shade. So I think I'm going to declutter both of these. This was something that I saw on TikTok people using, and I thought it looked really good, but I like my Wonder Stick from NYX way, way better, and I'm probably going to be repurchasing that one, and I don't really reach for these as much. So I'm going to declutter both of these. Next up is some cream bronzers from e.l.f., and these are their putty bronzers, and I have Feelin' Shady and Tan Lines. So Feelin' Shady is more of a cool toned, neutral kind of bronzer shade that can be more used for contour on my skin tone, and Tan Lines is more of a bronzer shade on me, and it's more warm toned. So these are amazing. Feelin' Shady is my favorite one. I have used it so much. It blends beautifully, and it lasts all day on my skin. I really, really love this shade, especially this one. When I hit pan on, which I believe I will, I am going to be repurchasing. I have a huge dip in here, as you can probably tell. It's so, so nice. It has such a good, like, creamy texture, but still stays in place all day. This one I use sometimes, but not as much as the other one. As you can see, it's kind of like a smaller dip in here. I do use it though. Sometimes when I use them together, I use this in the hollows of my cheeks, and then I'll use this on the top of my cheekbones, like where I would put bronzer. But most of the time, I'll just reach for Feelin' Shady. So this one, I'm going to keep both, but I definitely use Feelin' Shady more. It's hard to find cool tone options for bronzers, and this is an amazing option, and it is really affordable. I believe it's like $6. So good. Rivals one of my favorite cream bronzers, which I will be talking about in a minute. It's not as good, but it's almost as good. Like, just by a hair does the other one beat it, and the price difference is crazy. So I'm going to be keeping both shades. I love this formula so, so much. Next up, we have one that I'm going to be decluttering. So I actually really loved this product, and the reason I'm decluttering it is not because I don't like the formula. It's because it's like super, super old. I'm trying to find... It doesn't have that thing on it that says how long you can use it after it's open, but I've had this probably since high school. This is from Clinique. This is their Chubby in the Nude foundation stick, and it is in the shade Voluptuous Vanilla. This is a contour shade on me, and it actually worked beautifully and still does work. It's just old. It's reached its time. I've had it for years and years and years, and I'm almost out of it. Like, I don't have much left in here. I used this every single day. But then when more cream bronzers came on the market, I just don't use this one anymore. But this was such a good one. I may eventually repurchase this just for nostalgia, but it's so good. I used to love this product, but I think it's not as blendable as some of the cream bronzers on the market now, but it's nostalgia for me. But I'm still gonna have to declutter it because it's old. So this is a declutter. One that I am going to be keeping because it's brand new is from Rare Beauty. This is their I think it's like a Warm Wishes bronzer stick or something like that, and it's in the shade Power Boost. This I've only tried once. I need to try again, but it is very similar in color to that. It's just a little bit deeper. I'm not sure if this is the lightest shade or not. If it's the lightest shade, it's kind of warm. It really leans warm, but it works for me, so it's okay. But the blendability of this is amazing. It is super creamy. It melts onto the skin. Like when you're applying it, it's so nice. And it doesn't take much effort to blend it out at all. It really does look beautiful. I need to test the wear time and everything, but from that one first impression, I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to keep it. It's also very new in my collection and a very new release. So yeah, I need to actually use it more and get a full review. So keep. All right, next up we have from Makeup by Mario. This is their contour stick. This is their soft sculpt shaping stick in light medium. I was going to get the light one, but they were sold out at the time. So I went with this one because I thought I could make it work, and I can. It's just I would have preferred the other one because this one does lean a little bit warmer on me. But blendability wise, it's good. It's really good. It has such long staying power. That's like the draw to this. I think the Warm Wishes bronzer stick has a little bit more blendability to it, like ease of blending, and this one has great staying power though. And when you use it with a brush, I think it works much better. I do not like applying it directly to the cheeks and then blending it like I do with this one, but this one is great. And the color is really, really nice. So as you can see, it's in the similar color family to the other ones. I like the cool toneness of it, just like the chubby stick, so I'm glad to have something that shade. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the Makeup by Mario one. Next up, I have from Makeup Revolution. It's actually one of the few products I have from Makeup Revolution. This is the Eye Bright with Vitamin C Concealer. It's an illuminating under eye concealer, and this is in the shade Deep Caramel. I got this because someone said that it was a very similar, almost dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. Let's see if it'll go. So I will say, like, it is similar, but the blendability is not the same. I don't know. I really don't want to waste any of the Charlotte Tilbury with a swatch because I really don't have much left. But the way that this blends out is a tad more splotchy, and you have to work with it super, super quickly. The Charlotte Tilbury one, I can apply all over my face and then blend it out. This one, I have to apply in small chunks, like one cheek at a time or one segment at a time, and then blend it out, because otherwise it will dry down pretty quick because it is a concealer and it does have a little bit more like full coverage to it. So I do like the radiance of it. I like the color of it on me. I'm going to get more use out of it, but I do not think it is 100% dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. That is not it. But I do enjoy it, and I'm going to get more use out of it, so I'm going to keep it. The last cream bronzer in my collection. This one is my favorite one that I own, and it is a duo, and it has a powder and a cream. I've hit pan on this in a major way. So this is the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Bronzer Duo, and She's Statuesque. This is the one for light to medium skin tones, more for fair light. But this is beautiful. So here is the cream contour. I have hit pan in 2 different spots on this. I am going to use this up 100%. I know I am. I love it so much. This is my favorite cream bronzer formula. It's just super blendable, super long wearing, and has the perfect cool to neutral shade, but with like a hint of bronze to it, like just a touch, just enough that it could be considered a bronzer on me. It is my ideal shade. This is perfect. And let's see if I can actually get some up with my finger and maybe swatch it next to the others so you can see the difference. There we go. So as you can see, it's similar to the others, but it's more light in tone, and it's a little bit on the cooler side. It's not as warm. So I really enjoy this shade. Applied with a brush, it is just so, so good. And then you can set it with this powder bronzer. I love it. It looks so natural on my skin. It looks like I'm not wearing anything at all, which I love, but it is pigmented. It's like, it just looks like my skin, but better. I absolutely love this formula. This is going nowhere in my collection, and once I hit pan, I am repurchasing this. No questions asked. This is amazing. I used to use this every day. I have to actually I have to make myself reach for other things. So this is amazing. I'm keeping. That was it for the cream bronzers. So let's go ahead and dive into the powder ones. So first up, I'll go with like the multiple product things. So this is from Kaleidos, and this is their Charisma Contour Palette. It has a bronzer, a contour, and a kind of highlighting powder. I love this formula so much. I don't know if it's translating on camera, but I actually can see the lines from the pan in here. And there's a significant dip in this shade especially. I use the chisel shade so much, or the shade. I love this so much for contouring. This one's actually really nice too. I just don't use it as often. I do like that this is very travel friendly. All of these products in one, and I love the formula of each and every shade. But if it came down to it, like, would I use another bronzer over this one? Maybe. This one is like what I reach for. So this is in shade Warm Medium. Probably should have gotten the light one. I was just afraid the light one was too light on me. And I don't know. I'm kind of torn on if the other one would have worked better for me, but this does actually work for my fair skin tone. So just a heads up, it's not too pigmented off the bat, so you can get away with it. But I'm going to keep it for now because I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to try to get more use out of it. But there was a time that I used this every day, and then I haven't reached for it in a while. So I'm going to definitely try to get more use out of it, but this is a keep. Next up, this is the Hydrating Complexion Trio from Alamar Cosmetics. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I am actually surprised how much I enjoy this. So I don't really use the deeper shade as much, the Cafe Con Leche shade, but I do use the Rise and Grind and the Pale Wear shades mostly, and I actually do like this formula. It says it's a hydrating powder, and I have to agree. It actually feels pretty hydrating on the skin. Sorry, my camera fell. It almost feels wet when you put your finger in it, but not really. I don't know. It's a very silky powder. Maybe that's the best way to describe it, but it really does look beautiful on the skin. I'm going to keep this, even though I don't use this one shade. I'm going to keep it for now and see if I can get some more use out of it. This one is Never Leaving. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow in the shade Fair Medium. It has a sculpting shade and a highlight shade. I love the highlight. It's a very subtle highlight, but it's beautiful on the skin. And this sculpting shade is perfect for contour for me. It just works so well. It's really pigmented too, and it takes like 0 time to blend. So I'm absolutely going to keep it. It has a huge dip in the pan. I don't know if it's reading on camera, but yeah, I really enjoy it. You can kind of see a dip over here as well. But yeah, this is amazing. Very expensive, so get it on sale, but the formula is amazing. Right, next up for a duo, we have the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze and Glow. This is gorgeous. This is a very warm tone bronzer on me, but technically they said it was a bronzy toned blush. So I'm not really sure I would use this as a blush. It's definitely a bronzer on my skin tone, but it really works. I like this shade a lot. I've actually hit pan a little bit right there. It's hard to tell, but maybe you can kind of see that reflective piece right there. The highlight is a little bit deep, but I can make it work. But it is gorgeous. It's a great like highlighting topper for the bronzer if I want to make the bronzer more radiant. I use both of these products a lot, so very compact, easy to travel with. Really enjoy this. Keep. No, it seems like I'm keeping a lot. I'm sorry. I like what I like. Okay, so this one's a toss-up for me. This one's kind of a question mark. So this is from Kevyn Aucoin, and this is their Contour Duo. I got this for $5 at TJ Maxx, and it was one of the best things I ever found because I have hit major pan. So on this highlighting shade, I've hit so much pan, and this sculpting shade, I'm almost hitting pan. It's amazing. I love it. This sculpting shade is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury bronze, the Film Star Bronze and Glow. This Candlelight shade is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury. But do I want to get more use out of this before it's done? I don't know. I really enjoy these formulas, but I do have the Charlotte Tilbury one now. Oh, this is a toss-up. I'm going to put this in the maybe and decide later. Let's start out with the Cover FX bronzer. So this is their bronzer in the shade Sunkissed, and I've used this a lot. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it and get a little more use out of it before I'm done with it. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to keep it and get a little bit more use out of it. I did really enjoy this formula, as you can tell by this giant pan. I love a lot of Cover FX products. This one is no exception. So I'm going to keep this for a little while and get a little more use out of it. And then it's probably going to go in the next declutter. But I'm so proud of how much I've hit pan on this. I love it. Next up, we have one that I'm going to be for sure decluttering. This is from Marc Jacobs. I also really enjoyed this product. So this is in Hi-Fi Filter. It's a duo, and I've hit pan, as you can see. So this side is like a light bronzer kind of shade on me. So I used this to kind of sculpt and like this to blend out. It's a little warm toned bronzer on me. I really enjoyed both sides of this. The formula is really nice and silky, and it really does have a nice color to it. I just don't reach for it anymore. I have bronzers that I reach for more. I also don't really know what's going on with Marc Jacobs, and this is not my favorite anymore, so I think it's time for it to go. I got this at TJ Maxx for, I believe, $12 at the time, and I got my use out of it, so I'm going to declutter. Next up, I got this at TJ Maxx as well. This is the Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder in the shade 01 Light. And I think this packaging is stunning. It really is. It's so beautiful, and it's really heavy. It also comes with a brush that I never use. I don't know why I keep it in there, but this is the shade. It has a hint of sparkle luminosity to it, but it's very buildable and not like super overly pigmented off the bat, which is the way I prefer my bronzers to be. So I'm going to get a little more use out of this and see what happens. But I used it a little today and I forgot how much I actually liked it. So I'm going to keep it. I like it. I'm glad I did not pay full price for it, because I have bronzers that I like from the drugstore equally. So yeah, get this on sale if you do want to try it, but really beautiful packaging. All right, next up is from Hanalei. This was a BoxyCharm bronzer, and it is in shade, well, I guess it doesn't have a shade. It's a matte bronzer. I don't know if this is the only shade they offer. It really has a nice like silkiness to it. I just don't reach for this all that often. It's this color right here. It's a beautiful color. I just didn't find that I loved it when I was using it on my face. I don't know. Formula is nice and silky, and I did enjoy that. But I don't know. For some reason, it just did not mesh with my skin. So I think I'm going to declutter this. I don't think I'd regret not having it. Okay, so let's go over some of the minis I have real quick. So first up, I know I can declutter this one. This is from LA Colors, and this is their bronzer. I was going to do a video about Dollar Tree makeup and what I liked, what I didn't like. I think I did one. I think I have that. If I do have it still up on my channel, I will link it or put it in the cards. This one has way too much of a sheen to it. There's almost glitter flecks, and it's just too warm for my skin tone. And it even came with like this weird little applicator thing that no one could ever use. This is in the shade, it says it's a blush, but it's a bronze. I don't know. I just work here. But I used this as a bronzer, and I did not really like it as a bronzer. Technically it's a blush, I guess, but the shade does not work for me as a blush. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. This was like $1, so I'm not super attached, and I'll just declutter. So funny story, I have a ton of minis of bronzers from Benefit. So I have the full size Hoola bronzer, which I bought for, I think on sale like during the 21 Days of Beauty a couple years ago from Ulta. And I also have these minis. So I don't know why, first of all, I kept this brush. I don't use the brush, but I have used this quite a bit. The Hoola embossing is almost gone. I hate this packaging though. And that is why I actually started using the minis more. So I have 3 minis and a full size of Hoola. I do not need to keep that many. So we're going to declutter some of these. So this one is the one I used most of this one. This one is almost hitting pan. I prefer this packaging because I can get my brush in it easier. This one's just a little harder to get in there, but there's more product in it. I think I might depot this and put it in a palette just to make it easier to use. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, would I just continue to use the minis and just declutter the big one? I don't know. Like, I really do enjoy Hula, but I don't need 3 of them. So I think I'm going to keep 1 mini and the full size. So I'm going to declutter these 2 little babies and keep this mini. Yeah, I'm going to keep the mini and keep the full size, but I'm going to declutter these 2 little babies. Different story. So Hula is a little bit warm on me, but I can still use it. It still looks beautiful. But the Hula Light, if I'm going for a natural makeup day, Hula Light is the best bronzer for fair skin. Like, it is so good. It's effortless to blend. It doesn't look crazy. It's not like a super contouring type bronzer. It's not a super contouring shade. It will just give your face some warmth and dimension, and it's super buildable. It will barely show up on light skin tones probably, but for fair skin, this is absolutely incredible. So it almost looks like a pressed powder. Like, for other skin tones, it probably would look like a pressed powder, but you can see it on my skin tone. So there you go. There's the proof. You can see it. It actually is not too warm on me, which I appreciate. It's actually a little bit more neutral. So I'm going to keep both of the minis because I think I'm going to get use out of both minis. I think, have I hit pan on this? Yes, I have. I have hit pan majorly on this Hula Light mini. So I'm going to keep both because I know I'm going to get through both. Yeah, but I know that I'm not going to use all 4 of these Hula bronzers, so I would repurchase a mini of the Hula Light. I really enjoy this. I love throwing it in my makeup bag. It's perfect. This one I do enjoy. It's just I usually use Hula bronzer in the summertime, and I use this one when I'm extra pale. And then my last mini is from NARS. This is their Mini Laguna bronzer. I have barely touched this, but I got this last year as a birthday gift, so yeah. It does have a sheen to it, and I love the shade, so I am going to try to get more use out of this. Also, I love that the mini comes with a mirror. That's kind of cute, but it's great to pack in a kit, pack in a makeup bag. I'm going to keep it, get some use out of it, and see how I feel about the formula. Some people say Laguna is their favorite bronzer of all time, so I feel like I actually need to make myself use it, but sometimes I forget I have it, honestly. So now that I'm doing my declutter, I will try my best to actually get more use out of it. But it's keep. So let's get back into the big bronzers. So I have this one from Makeup Forever. This one came in my Online Makeup Academy makeup kit, and this is their Pro Bronze Fusion in shade, I don't know if it has a light, I don't know if it's a universal or what. It just says bronzer. So I don't know if they have other shades, but here is what it looks like on the inside. It has a beautiful mirror. I've used this a ton. So it had like deep indentions like as an embossing, and now they're flattened out a lot. This is the most, how do I describe this? It's like literally if the sun just barely kissed your face. This is that bronzer. It looks beautiful and natural and just not too matte. It has a little bit of a luminosity, but not crazy and not glittery. It is just amazing, but it is very buildable. Like, you have to really have patience with this product. It is not going to be really pigmented off the bat. You're gonna have to build and build and build if you want a lot of pigment. But for me, it works so nicely because I'm so fair that if I can just kind of customize the shade to me and just build it up to the opacity that I need. And I really enjoy that because it suits my skin tone very well. The formula just looks so natural on my skin. It's very long wearing. I am really impressed with Makeup Forever's products. And yeah, this one really impressed me a lot. So I'm going to keep it. Next up, this one's from Iconic London, and I'm kind of torn on if I want to keep it or not. So this is their Ultimate Bronzing Powder in Light Bronze, and it is a beautiful heavy duty compact, and I love the way it looks, and it has a beautiful embossing in it. It actually has a nice tone to it also, so I kind of want to keep it. I haven't really gotten a lot of use out of it. It's very pigmented. I tried it again today and I liked it. I think I'm gonna keep trying it. I know I have a lot of bronzers, but I want to give this a real fair shot. I got this in a BoxyCharm and I kind of opened it and just didn't use it. So I want to give it a fair chance before I declutter it. It really does seem nice and pigmented, very soft and silky of a formula. So I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to keep it. Next up is my newest one in my collection. This is from Maybelline. This is their City Bronzer and Contour Powder. It's a city bronzer, but it's a bronzer and contour powder, and it's in the shade 100. And this is beautiful. It is definitely matte, like very, very matte. And I love the shade. It's got a lot of kick up, and you have to be careful if you put too much on. It can get a little tiny touch patchy, but if you apply this in the correct way, it won't do that. I enjoy the formula a lot, actually, once I got to finessing it a little bit. I don't know why, or maybe it was the brush I was using, but it laid down too much product and kind of stuck in place, and I was kind of scared. It did blend out, so it will blend out, just as a heads up, but it took a learning curve of like 2 uses for me to really understand this product. But now that I do, I can get it to look really, really beautiful on my skin, and I actually really enjoy it, and I think it's a great, affordable drugstore bronzer. I have been enjoying this a lot, and I've actually used this for the past few days now that I've had it and really enjoyed it. So this is going to stay in my collection. This one is a definite declutter. This one is from Makeup Revolution. This is their Ultimate Ultra Bronze, and yeah, that's the shade, Ultra Bronze. I don't know if this is for light or medium skin tones. I'm not really sure. It's just not my favorite bronzer. Let me just be honest. I don't know, like the formula doesn't work with my skin as much. I'm gonna declutter it. Every time I used it, I wished I used a different bronzer. And it's not inherently awful. It's just, I have other bronzers in my collection, like the one I'm going to show you next, that I enjoy way more. So this one is a declutter. Finally, the last bronzer in my collection. This one is from L'Oreal Paris. This is the True Match Lumi Bronze It Sun-Kissed Bronzer for face and body. Long name, but this is amazing. So this is in shade Light 01, and I have hit pan majorly on this product. This all right here is pan, these little grid lines, and you can see the grid lines starting to form outside here as well. I am going to use this product up completely. I love this bronzer. It is the perfect shade for me. Perfect. It has the best formula, in my opinion, that I've tried. It has the perfect tone on me. It has the perfect luminosity. I love that it gives me some life to my skin. It doesn't make me look too warm. It doesn't make me look too cool. It is the perfect in between. This is I think my favorite powder bronzer in my collection, period. High end or not. It's amazing. I love it so much. Like Hoola Light is great as well, but it's matte, like real matte. No glow to it at all. This one is glowy and actually gives my skin some dewiness, and I love that. So this one will stay in my collection for as long as it exists. I love this so much, and I will not stop talking about it. So yeah, this is amazing, and I'm keeping it, and I'm going to repurchase it once I fully use it. So yeah, keep. So I had 2 maybes, and I did decide I am going to be decluttering the Kevyn Aucoin. I did get this for $5. I got my use out of it, definitely. I'm almost panned this, and I've definitely panned this. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this because I don't reach for it anymore because of the Charlotte Tilbury. I'm torn about Cover FX. I kind of want to keep it. I kind of want to declutter it. I don't know. I've used it, so you know what? No, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try to use it more. If I don't touch it, I'm going to declutter it. If my math was correct, I kept 24 and decluttered 10. Now, I know that's not the best when it comes to decluttering. It's not like half my collection gone or anything like that. But I do feel like my collection is much more manageable now. And I think I will get plenty of use out of all of these things. I did count the Hoola bronzers individually, even though they are 2 separate shades. I did count each individual thing. So I decluttered 2 of the little ones. I counted those as decluttering 2. And I kept 4 technically, even though it's 2 minis of the 2 shades. So yeah, 24 and 10. Not the best I could have done, but I am absolutely happy with what I kept. There are a few that are on the chopping block, obviously, like the Cover FX one, and I think the Makeup Revolution one is kind of on the chopping block as well. I just don't know for sure about that one. This one I'm almost empty, so I don't know about that. Like, that could be going soon. There are a lot of these products that I actually tend to hit pan on, though, so that is different than other categories. So I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Getting rid of 10, not as good as I wanted to, but pretty good, and I'm happy. So thank you so much for watching. Please also let me know which category you'd like to see next in my declutter series. I hope you're enjoying. I will also link the playlist in the cards in the description box for my other declutter videos, which are in my makeup collection series. So yeah, I hope you're having an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.